of members have joined.
Yeah.
Let us start. Hello and welcome everybody. On behalf of High Court Bar Association, I welcome you all on this webinar on COVID-19 facts, prevention and preparedness. I welcome Dr. Tushar Pandey sir on this webinar. He has joined from his very extremely busy schedule. We welcome you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
We all are facing very tough times. This is an endeavor of High Court Bar Association to extend all possible help to its members by way of this webinar and by other facilities which we have already circulated the details about it. We will be holding such webinars which will help out the members of the legal fraternity. Apart from this webinar, yesterday we have circulated a list of details with containing list of some doctors who have also extended their help by giving specialized packages for the lawyers. I appeal all the lawyers to take most help of the facilities. Today now we are happy to join to have amongst us Dr. Tushar Pandey sir, who will guide us and who will interact with us. Dr. Pandey is MD and a critical care specialist. He has rich experience in handling the critical COVID patients. Dr. Pandey is presently head of COVID unit at National Cancer Institute. I welcome you, sir, again.
Yeah,
Dr. Pandey will guide us, sir. Dr. Pandey will guide us on facts about COVID and basic tips about the prevention and precautions. I think this is the most important area on which all the members and everybody should be aware as to what exactly to be done in the event there somebody is found positive with COVID. This is going to be an interactive session. Members can post their queries in the chat box. Now, without taking much time, I request Dr. Pandey sir to start his address. I request all the members, those who have joined to put their mics off so that there is no interruption. You can post your queries on the chat box and Dr. Pandey will answer them. Over to you, Pandey sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with all the elite people of legal fraternity. I understand and appreciate your efforts for enlifting the knowledge of all the people. And I thank all the participants who have joined and spared their precious Sunday morning family time for this session. As we understand, this is a pandemic situation. The pandemic situation is globally affecting, it's affecting economy. Lockdowns are being imposed, people are getting tolerance. All doctors have been like overworked and they are finding it difficult to cope up with the situation because of all reasons need not be mentioned over here. But yes, what we really need to understand and what we really need to focus on is basically the basics of this illness. Nowadays, so many things are being bombarded from all over places, all over social media. So what exactly needs to be taken out of it? That is more important. It is very basic disease. It can be tackled at its start level. Yes, few patients do get sick who require then admissions and invasive or ICU admission and further advanced management. But at the outset, we should understand the disease more, its pathophysiology more, and then we will be able to tackle the situation more effectively. The sources are being exhausted, oxygen supply, remdesivir, so on. We really have to what you call rationalize the treatment. Lecture on COVID, I would like to make it more interactive. Really, one has to understand about the disease, that is more important. So we will keep it more of interactive session rather than me giving lectures. So I request Mr. Kubalkar to open straight away the chat box and we will start the ball rolling. I would like to hear questions from you so that I can answer those. So can I have questions?
Chat box is open and questions have not yet come. But before that, we can have just some guidelines from you so that which are generally
exactly. So let us begin with the symptomatology. Now, symptomatology nowadays, this new coronavirus can present like anything in the sense earlier it used to be have like sore throat, fever, headache, body ache, exhaustion, and then 2-3 days of thinking it to be viral, then doing tests, and then it coming positive, and then okay. But this new virus is not giving much of time. It is presenting. Few patients are presenting with upper respiratory tract infection like sore throat, gale mein khiskis, bukhar aana, and then straight away landing up in ICU. Few patients are even not having this type of symptoms. They are having loose motions, exhaustion, and fever. Nothing is no symptom is specific for COVID illness. So nowadays, as a doctor, as a practitioner, anything under the sun can be COVID. That is the message here needs to be taken. Now, anything under the sun can be COVID means right from asymptomatic carrier to the symptomatic sick patients. He can be or she can be COVID. So what to do about this? How to go about this? If you are experiencing any uneasiness, any exhaustion, any sore throat, any loose motions, anything deviated from the normal daily routine of your sense of well-being, you should consult. And now teleconsultations are available. You don't have to rush to hospital. Teleconsultations are available. So you can avail those teleconsultations as well. So, but the utmost important thing is you should get yourself tested. There is no point in denial. ये मुझको नहीं हो सकता है, मैंने फ्रिज का ठंडा पानी पिया इसलिए सोर थ्रोट है, इसलिए फीवरिश लग रहा है, मैं अभी धूप में जाके अंदर एसी में बैठा हूँ, हाल ही में मैंने कूलर चालू किया, उस दिन मैंने तरबूज खाया था, आम खाया था, इस वजह से ये गले में खिंचती है, वरना मुझे कोविड नहीं, मैं तो कभी बाहर भी नहीं गया हूँ, तो कोविड कहाँ से आएगा? The COVID is not anything can bring COVID to your home, and we are seeing families being affected. Every family member of the family, every family member is having this virus. Almost all of them, like 90%, will have no symptoms, but yes, 10% do have symptoms, and out of those 10%, at least 2% will land up in hospitals. I think we are getting some questions.
Yes.
How? Yeah. So, how can I have chat box for me?
Sir, at the bottom there is a link.
Okay.
At the bottom of the screen there is a link of chat.
Yes. Yeah. So, what if someone is having? The first question: can you guide members about myth of use of remdesivir injection as life-saving drug for all patients affected by COVID? Okay, that's a wonderful question to start with. The myth about remdesivir is clinically useful, but only there are certain guidelines which needs to be followed. Now, in and out use of remdesivir is obviously not recommended. The problem of remdesivir, or the problem which is propagated throughout the society about remdesivir, like it is not a drug like Sanjeevani Booty. No, it's not. So where to use remdesivir? only to those patients who are hypoxic. Hypoxic means only to those patients whose SpO2 or saturation or pulse oximeter, everyone is aware of that pulse oximeter. If it is showing less than 95%, then it is an indication to admit that patient. And if that oxygen saturation goes below 92, or the patient is requiring oxygen, then there is an indication to use remdesivir. Otherwise, not. Remdesivir use is not depending on CT score. What I mean to say, CT means HRCT I'm talking about. HRCT score doesn't guide you about anything. HRCT score doesn't tell you about the severity of the disease. HRCT means CT scan, which is done at scan centers. The problem here, what is happening nowadays, once you get RT-PCR report, I'm sure everyone is aware of RT-PCR test. Is it right? So RT-PCR report, once you get that report, people just rush for CT scan. No, that should not be the thing, because HRCT score will not guide you about anything. Now, coming back again to the question.
Yes.
Whenever patient is having or showing signs and symptoms of drop in oxygen level, it is an indication to start remdesivir. In and out use of remdesivir is not recommended. So I hope I have answered that question. Next question is, what are the chances of asymptomatic patient transmitting the virus? Is he as much as a risk as a symptomatic patient? Yes, asymptomatic patients can transmit virus. Especially this is true with the children of the house. What happens once we get positive, patient get positive, he is more worried about his children. No, it should be other way around. He should be more worried about parents, because those are the age group which are at risk. Those are people who are going to be sick if they harbor this infection. बच्चों को कुछ नहीं होता है. बच्चे में I mean to say right from newborn to age of 12, 13, 14 years. कुछ नहीं होता है. As far as asymptomatic carriers are concerned, yes, they are at risk of transmitting the disease. As compared to symptomatic patient, the data has proven that asymptomatic patients are more have got more propensity to spread the disease as compared to symptomatic patients, simply because asymptomatic patients are those who are in the early stage of the disease. They are not aware of the circumstances. They are not quarantining themselves, and they will spread the disease faster than as compared to symptomatic patients, which are aware of the disease and they then quarantine themselves. What if HRCT is 25 by 25? Can it recover? Yes, the patient can definitely recover. The only thing, he should be hospitalized, he should be receiving high-end care. Usually 25 by 25 patients will definitely be symptomatic. Usually they will be in ICU requiring high end of oxygen and high end of ventilated care. But good ventilation, good nursing, good hospital can cure this disease. There will be sequelae in the form of
Somebody has kept his mic on. I request the participants to keep their mic off.
May delay the rehabilitation of the person, but and apart from that, even nowadays, Chennai is
Others are requested to keep their mic off. That is causing some disturbance.
Am I audible now?
Sir, yes, you are audible.
Yeah. The last question which I saw, what is LDH? LDH is lactase dehydrogenase test. That's the full form of it. Basically, it depicts cell turnover. What happens in COVID? There is cell destruction and body is trying to recover. So there is regeneration of the cell. It just denotes the speed of the regeneration. It just denotes the cell turnover. So it's an indirect marker for the severity of the disease. More the LDH, the disease can be severe. Now it's not a complete linear relationship like LDH if it is 200, the patient is more the LDH if it is 200 and LDH if it is 100. So 100 patient will be less sick as compared to 200. No, it is not a linear correlation. It has to be correlated clinically. The basic thing of whatever test we do, the basic thing here would be how patient is behaving clinically. Is he sick? Now, is he sick is answered by his other parameters, which is like what is his blood pressure, what is his pulse rate, what is oxygen saturation. Same thing happened with HRCT levels. So HRCT level, irrespective of the level, like 12, 13, and they are dyspnea till the time they are respiratory, having respiratory distress, or till the time there is a drop in saturation below 95%. So that is what exactly the approach should be to this disease. Yes, people who are diabetic, who are having comorbidities, they should be given priority over monitoring. Next question is, what if someone is having dry cough without any other symptoms? The answer here would be he should get it tested whether this is COVID or not. Other viruses are still common in the society. They are causing dry cough. But again, I want to stress here, anything under the sun who are presenting with such type of symptom can be COVID. So it is very important to rule out at the outset. See, it is not about young people getting affected or infected or carriers. It is about they affecting or they infecting their parents. So even if you're not having symptoms, you should get yourself tested because you are the person who is going out for work and carrying that virus to your home. Good morning, sir. A very mildly symptomatic positive patient recovered almost fully after 15 days of first symptoms, is still getting symptoms of sore throat and mild cold, etc. Is this normal? Yes, it is normal. COVID patients do have few complaints almost up to 2 months. And here only I would like to answer maybe in little later query which may arise. Doing RT-PCR tests after the symptoms or after the quarantine period is over. So even ICMR, WHO recommendations are there is no need to do repeat RT-PCR test. It is 17 days of quarantine period and you should come out of quarantine without doing testing. Few corporates funnily ask about doing repeat tests unless and until they are negative, they won't be admitting. But let me here tell you that even if after quarantine period is over, you can come positive because that viral genome is there, and this is RT-PCR, that is transcriptase test, which is an amplification sort of test. So even if you're asymptomatic, even if you're not carrying the virus, but dead virus will be there, which can give false positive results. So it is not recommended to test RT-PCR once the quarantine period is over. Next question is, would you like to suggest in-house precaution from getting infected? Is the steaming helpful and how frequently one shall take it? Now, house precaution, the same 3 sutri, wear your mask, maintain social distance, and hand hygiene. So this is very important even in house. About steam inhalation, It gives symptomatic relief in the form of relieving your nasal condition. But apart from that, it has not proven to be like killing the virus or in the treatment of the this COVID illness. If RT-PCR, next question is RT-PCR report is negative, but HRCT count is 11. Does that mean patient is COVID positive? Or could also mean that patient is COVID negative but has lung infection? Is HRCT also parameter to check if a patient is positive? Okay, now this is very common scenario. Basically, RT-PCR report negative means the infection probably has gone down to the lungs and it has infected lungs, and HRCT count is 11. It does mean the patient is COVID positive. Yes, it is. It means that COVID is positive. Apart from whether CT can comment on other lung infection, COVID has got peculiar CT pictures, like peripheral lung field will be involved. Someone's mic is on. Can shut?
पुरोहित सर आपका माइक ऑफ कीजिए.
And yes, the patient's COVID CT picture will be very typical of COVID infection. Other lung infection, radiologists would not confuse with other lung infections. Is HRCT also parameter to check if patient positive? No, HRCT is not. It is the RT-PCR test, which is a gold standard. Next question is, sir, please let us know when a person should take second dose of vaccination from the time once he got diagnosed. Yes, it's a very practical question. Now, if you have been diagnosed as COVID positive, you should quarantine yourself for 17 days. And once 17 days are over, 6 weeks from the 17th day of quarantine, one should get vaccinated. How reliable are domestic SpO2 measurement devices that clip on fingers? Yes, there are plenty of devices which are available in market. So obviously quality is being compromised. So one can do simple tests. Test it on a COVID patient, then apply it on normal patient. If that is showing normal result and your SpO2 is down, then okay, that SpO2 is reliable. But definitely you have to frequently change those cells, and before jumping to conclusion, always correlate that saturation SpO2 finding with your clinical sense of well-being. It won't happen in way that your saturation is 85 and still you are asymptomatic. No, it won't happen. Yes, it can happen that your saturation is 88 or 90, but still you can have little bit of breathlessness. But eventually body gives signals about drop in saturation or SpO2 levels. Two oximeters show different reading, difference ranging from 81 to 93, which can be most effective way to examine PE level. But the same thing, I think I have answered that question. If RT-PCR report is negative, but HRCT count is 11, I think again I have answered that question. My mother is having heart disease and father is suffering from prostate cancer. Can they take vaccine? Yes, on priority basis, they should take the vaccine. Okay, now coming to general discussion.
रोहित सर आपका माइक ऑफ रखिए प्लीज.
ऑफ है, ऑफ है.
हाँ सर, वो आप अनम्यूट कर रहे हैं बार बार. सर सॉरी,
ऑटोमेटिक हो रहा है.
प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
No. Yeah,
Mute.
That's okay. It's a technical glitch. Okay. Now, as far as approach to symptoms, whenever one gets symptoms which are deviating from your normal routine, you should consult your doctor. You should get yourself tested. Now, if test comes positive, then what needs to be done? Right from the day of symptom, you should isolate yourself. Protect elderly. That is the message. Protect elderly means you should isolate yourself from others. You should use separate washroom. You should use separate utensils. You should wash your own clothes and avoid contact with others. get yourself tested. If the test comes positive, whosoever are elderly, above 60, you should test them. Children and young ones need not be tested. Those who are below 21 need not be tested. This is simply to reduce burden on testings. Simply reduce burden on testing because healthcare is stretched to its maximum. Once you are positive, there is no need to start any medicine till the time you have symptoms. As far as doctors prescribing favipiravir, studies have shown it has no role. As far as prescribing ivermectin, study shows it has no role. As far as prescribing cough syrups, antibiotics, and paracetamol, it has got no definite role. So, in a nutshell, there is no specific medicine for COVID. Even remdesivir is not specific for COVID. Every patient doesn't require remdesivir, and it is true vice versa as well. Every patient who gets remdesivir is not cured of the disease. So, what I mean to say, remdesivir is not specific. Then, what is specific? The specificity here is, or the treatment approach should be just monitor the basics. Monitor your oxygen saturation, monitor your temperature, monitor your fever, monitor your intake, monitor your urine output. So, what really here is needed is basic monitoring of your parameters. No need for any HRCT or CT scan of the chest unless until your doctor advises it. There is no need to rush to scan center the moment you get diagnosed. Even nowadays, people are just rushing towards scan center because someone advises, अरे यार वो RT-PCR को तो time लगता है, जाके HRCT कर लो. No, this is not the way to approach that disease. अगर आपको कुछ तकलीफ है, अगर आपको कुछ लग रहा है आपको कोविड है, आप टेस्ट करिए, वेट फॉर द रिजल्ट्स. टिल द टाइम आप बेसिक को मॉनिटर करते रहिए, टिल द टाइम आप सैचुरेशन देखिए, आप फीवर को ध्यान दीजिए, आप हाइड्रेशन मेंटेन करिए, आप खुद को आइसोलेट करिए. These things are important. I go to the questions again. What precautions and care should be taken during post-COVID? Now, precautions which needs to, once you have recovered from COVID, there are few guidelines about resumes. Few people are now very, what do you call, fitness free. They should resume their activity as their body permits. They should not straight away jump to strenuous activity. As far as routine activities are concerned, yes, one can resume very next day. But people usually do find easy fatigability, exhaustion, even after doing minimum of it. But that is quite understandable. Although COVID is taking its toll on your body, so body is trying to recapacitate and it will take some time to recover. So precautions, what you should take during post-COVID recovery is maintain your hydration, maintain your nutrition level, maintain your protein intake, which is like 1.5 gram per kg, maintain your calorie requirement, usual calorie requirement like 30 to 40 kilocalorie per kilogram. So if average person is weighing 70, then around 2000 to 2500 or even less than that calorie intake will be sufficient. Protein one can have up to 110 grams per day. So protein, sufficing the protein, daily protein requirement is very important. Besides isolation, what do a positive person? He should consult a doctor. Sir, before taking vaccine tests like CRP, D-dimer required to be done? No, absolutely unnecessary. And there is no need for even test blood coagulation. Even people who are on aspirin should not stop their aspirin. They can straight away go ahead with vaccination because it's a minor injection which is given by very tiny needle. It is not going to cause any problem. why we are seeing high mortality rate among young patients? Where are the patients going wrong? Delay or something else? Yes, this is very specific question. Uh, because this strain, which is like a superbug, which have emerged, people are getting sick. Young ones are falling prey to this disease in more quite than often than not as compared to earlier one, because the virus has mutated itself. Virus has mutated itself, and it has caused major setback as far as health fraternity is concerned. But of course, it is not to be worried about, because most of them still are asymptomatic. Why are we seeing high mortality rate? Because the virus itself is probably with more virality. Where are patients? Patients are not going wrong. Probably, yes, we should stick to our basics, 3 to 3. Delay as far as concerned, no, I don't think so, because people are more aware and seeking medical attention uh, earlier than it used to be, like last pandemic. As WHO removed remdesivir from medical list of COVID treatment in November 2020, further it was banned in UK. Being a medical professional, will you recommend use of remdesivir strongly? Remdesivir is definitely things turning the things around. Remdesivir is benefiting the patients. So yes, I recommend remdesivir. As far as WHO has removed remdesivir from medical list of COVID-19 treatment, WHO just requires hyped upon by the company or by other people. But in my clinical practice, I'm seeing patients are getting better over remdesivir. When patients second dose of vaccine after 21 days period since or symptom, if the patient has tested positive after taking first dose of vaccine. I think we have already answered, but still it is important question. Uh, from the from 6 weeks of your last quarantine day, that is, once you have completed 17 days of quarantine, and count 6 weeks from that, and after that you can take the care. Should you take through symptoms or not dosing to him for how many days? If you're exposed, you should test yourself. If you don't get any symptoms, you should quarantine that person who is positive for 17 days. And as far as you are concerned, you need not be quarantined. You can move around provided you follow mask etiquettes and other hand hygiene and social distancing. Other than heart and diabetes, which other comorbidities are the people who are on steroids for skin problem also considered comorbid? Yes, if they are taking systemic, that is oral steroids. Topical steroids, immunity is not suppressed to the extent that it should cause problem. But yes, if you're on oral steroids, that means tablets or injections, if you're taking, you should be considered yourself as a comorbid one. Is the viruses transmitted to hard surfaces and papers, etc.? Recent paper published in Lancet journal was against that virus is transmitted through hard surface or papers. But again, still we should maintain our hand hygiene, because that is earlier it used to be like virus is getting transmitted. See, the thing which we need to understand here, this is just 1 year old or maybe 1.5 year old. So as a doctor, still we are not very sure how this virus will behave. Maybe in future it might be like we might consider this virus to be less dreaded as compared to what we are presently assuming. In 1920, there was a flu, if everyone remembers. At that time, the mortality was immense. Nowadays, we don't even consider simple flu as a major toll on our health. So humans are evolving, medical fraternity is evolving, medical fraternity is trying to understand the disease process in a better way. So maybe in future, this virus transmitted through hard surface or not, on papers, etc., will be clear. Presently, the verdict is no, it is not transmitted. Whether Coronil kit or Patanjali is effective, I'm not sure about this. I'm not a faculty to answer about this. Maybe Ramdev Baba will answer that question better. Do you personally believe that breakthrough is limited to 0.04%? I'm not sure what this question means. Can Mr. Kubalkar throw some light on this? Hello.
Hello, sir.
Do you personally believe that breakthrough is limited to 0.04%? I'm not able.
Sir, no, sir, I'm not able to understand.
Which vaccine
Sir,
is
I
better
believe-
to cater?
So I believe he's talking about the stats released a few days back, where the government said that after the vaccination, roughly about only 0.04% of the patients have tested positive.
Okay. So probably he means to ask that how effective is vaccine. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, recent data published by ICMR about Covishield was 70% effectiveness of that vaccine. What does that mean? If a person is vaccinated, then he will develop antibodies. That antibodies will be developed in 78% of patients. Now, what about rest 22% of the patient? They won't be having any detectable antibodies. Now, what does that mean clinically? So, if a person is vaccinated and having antibodies, that means he is protected from the disease. But again, the catch here is we should not leave the mask wearing of the mask, social distancing, and hand hygiene. As far as rest of the 22% of patients or persons who don't have any detectable antibodies, still some protection it will offer. As far as what really in clinical scenario it means, it will reduce the severity of the disease. About Covaxin, they claim efficacy to be 90%, so people are really getting concerned about getting themselves inoculated with Covaxin. But I think that whatever comes your way, whichever vaccine is available, you should take it and you must take it. So, which vaccine is better in Indian mutation of virus? Is it true that Covax is better? Yes, statistically true. But again, these studies, they have very minute catches among those studies, like what level of antibody what level of antibody you have set as a cutoff limit. So, like in Covishield, if you reduce the antibody level as a cutoff limit, then obviously Covishield will be proven better than Covaxin. सर
मुझे डाइक्लो ड्रग से रिएक्शन आया था, तो मैं वैक्सीन ले सकता हूँ उसमें ये डाइक्लो सर you got the point.
आप ले सकते हैं बिल्कुल. डाइक्लो इज पेन किलर इंजेक्शन, डाइक्लोफेनाक. अगर उससे रिएक्शन आता है आपको तो डेफिनेटली आपके जो पेन किलर्स है वो आपने अवॉइड करने चाहिए, बट वैक्सीन आप ले सकते हैं और वैक्सीन आपको हॉस्पिटल सेटिंग में दिया जाता है, सो इट इज क्वाइट सेफ टू टेक वैक्सीन देयर. There is a shortage of bed, and if someone has severe symptoms, what can I do at home? Unfortunately, this is very scary question. Let me tell you, I feel so helpless getting so many calls for arranging the beds, and I'm at no way able to help them. People are dying, but that is how it is. Health system is exposed to and stretched to maximum. What can be done for such patient at home? Try to give oxygen to them. Try to give basic hydration to them.
Question
try to arrange for a bed. Yeah. After vaccination, how long I will be protected? After vaccination, till the antibodies are there circulating in your body, so you will be protected. So once you're vaccinated, whether one should test antibody levels. If you're a health worker, you should test your antibody levels. If it goes down below the threshold, you should get vaccinated yourself. But as far as general statement concerned, once vaccinated, should give protection about for 2 years. How much does the new strain affect toddlers aged 2 to 4 years? Yes, it will affect everyone, every living human being, every human being. And but yes, they are at least risk. कांजण्या मालूम है अगर चिकन पॉक्स होता है बच्चों को, वही अगर चिकन पॉक्स बड़ों में हो जाए तो प्रॉब्लम है. चिकन पॉक्स अगर बच्चों को होता है तो इट इज बेटर दैट they are infected with chicken pox, that will provide lifelong immunity. Same thing probably will happen with COVID. If they are infected, they won't have any symptom, but they will harbor immunity for life. So I mean, that will be a great thing to happen to them. Of course, one should not be like posing them to risk of COVID, but in natural course, they will recover and they will have probably lifelong immunity. Is it true that if person gets infected by virus after first dose of vaccination, usually the disease is not serious? No, this is a wrong perception, because I have seen people dying even after first dose of vaccination. If they get COVID, I have seen people dying. So it is about complete schedule to be followed after immunization, like first dose, second dose, and after 6 weeks of second dose, or 6 weeks of second dose, probably if you harbor the disease won't be that serious. If someone is allergic to Vagaram, we have already answered that. What are chances of clotting after vaccination? There have been reports, anecdotal reports, that after Covishield, people have got brain clots and all. But as a larger picture, it is safe to get yourself vaccinated. After vaccination, is there possibility of heart attack? No, it is not related. Once found positive, is the person less likely to contact cover again over some months, less likely to contract COVID, probably he wanted to say. Yeah, once found positive, patient is likely to get COVID if his immunity goes down or something like that, and pre-infections are any other. Is virus is airborne, what it means?
Sir, this
Yes,
is very
virus
important.
yeah, there have been reports about spread of virus through airborne, but airborne also, it is like droplet infection. It is not exactly spreading by wave of air. Now, I'll come to little medical details about this. Airborne diseases are the diseases which spread through air. Now, it does not necessarily mean only air. It is a droplet infection. So, as compared to other illnesses, this virus requires some or the other carrier in the form of droplet. There is a shortage in this, we have already answered. I think we have left some questions at the top. I'm just scrolling down, give me a few seconds. Okay. Now, sir, please elaborate on kind and nature of use of mask and double masking need of the hour. See, mask as far as concerned, it is N95 mask, which is a gold standard. It is just like RT-PCR as far as testing is concerned. It is N95 as far as mask is concerned. Now, wearing of the double mask, whether this is recommended, yes, it will give an additional protection. If you're obviously if you're using 2 masks at a time, you will probably be better protected. but imagine the discomfort you will be having. So to optimize, single mask is sufficient. If you are wearing one mask and other person is wearing his N95 mask, then transmission of disease, of his disease or your disease to him or his disease to you is negligible. Sir, is vaccination necessary for a person who has already recovered from COVID? Yes, it is necessary. Even after recovering from COVID, does our body contain antibodies? They do contain, but not every recovered patient will have antibodies. Many of them do not have antibodies, and those are the patients who are at risk of harboring COVID again. So I think we have answered almost all the questions.
Yes, sir.
What time we have left? What is the time? 11:53.
Yeah.
So
I think sufficient number of questions are already.
There are no questions. Can we follow?
Sir, I think we can stop the now question answer session.
Stick to basics. Yes. Yes, I'm giving a concluding statement if you allow.
Sir.
Yeah. So to conclude here, at the outset, I would like to thank once again organizers and High Court Bar Association for giving me this opportunity. I will be available for consultation from 9 to 12. If you can ping me over WhatsApp earlier before going with conversation, I'll be thankful. I'll be better prepared. As far as COVID is concerned, do not get worried about COVID. Protect elderly. You need not be so possessive or protective about your children. Let them go out, let them play, let them mix with other kids, because okay, follow the government norms, what have been told to you, but you don't have to be, because why I'm saying this, because people are more worried about their children. Those are not the age group which are going to cause any problems. It is other way around. Elderly are going to be like sufferers. They will be having more mortality and morbidity as compared to younger ones are concerned. As far as testing is concerned, yes, you should give importance to your bodily symptoms. You should not ignore them. Any fever or any exhaustion, you should get yourself tested. Consult proper doctor as far as the treatment is concerned. No fancy medicines. Nothing works, but only your basic hydration, monitoring of the oxygen saturation, and hospitalization in 5 to 10% of cases is going to save the life. Right? So I hope it was informative to you all, and thanks once again for your cooperation.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Pandey sir. It was extremely wonderful session, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy and thankful to you for sparing your valuable time. I know Dr. Pandey is extremely busy in his regular schedule, and today he has spared his valuable time. He has patiently answered all the questions, sir. We are very thankful to you.
No, it's my privilege, pleasure to be on.
Sir, we'll be taking your help in future also with respect to queries, as we are happy that you have agreed to solve our queries in future also. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Good day.
Sir, thank you so much. Sir, I take this opportunity just to inform the members that in these trying times, we all have to stand in solidarity with each other. And I hope that all the members will take best of the precautions, stay at home, and stay safe. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think session can be concluded.